Naughty Budulínek and the Ginger Vixen. Budulínek was a little boy who lived with his grandma and grandpa in a cozy little cottage at the very edge of the forest. During the day, Grandma and Grandpa dug out tree stumps and roots in the forest to sell for firewood. They always admonished the boy not to open the cottage door to anyone in their absence. One day, while they were gone, there was a knock-knock on the door. "Who's there?" Budulínek hollered. "I am home alone. Grandma and Grandpa are digging stumps and roots in the forest. I am not allowed to open to anyone." "But it's me." "Who's me? I am home alone. Grandma and Grandpa are..." "It's me, Ginger the Vixen. Let me in. I am your friend. I'll play with you. I'll carry you on my bushy tail." "No, I am home alone. I am not allowed to..." "Well, all right, come in, but you have to play with me." Budulínek opened the door. Ginger the Vixen jumped into the room and went round sniffing and sticking her muzzle into pots and jars. "What is this?" she asked. That's pea soup for my lunch. Leave it alone. Come and play with me." "I said leave it alone." But it was too late. Ginger lapped up the soup and licked the pot clean. "Is there anything else to eat?" "No, that was my lunch you ate. I'm hungry. I will tell Grandma and Grandpa. Oh, come on, don't be a spoilsport. Here, sit on my tail. We'll ride a bit. But only in this room. I am not allowed outside," Budulínek said, as he sat down on the Vixen's bushy tail. Ginger the Vixen trotted around the room, first slowly, then faster and faster. Slow down, I'm going to fall," Budulínek cried, but the Vixen jumped on the chair, from the chair on the table, from the table on the window ledge, and then out the closed window. Jumping and leaping, she ran into the forest. The boy's crying was all in vain. She carried him to her den under an old oak tree. "Children," she told her ginger cubs, "here, take this. I brought you something to play with." Yelping and barking, the young foxes ran over to Budulínek. He stopped crying and thought, "This is not so bad after all. The cubs will be fun to play with, and I won't have Grandma and Grandpa bothering me all the time." But the cubs had a strange idea about playing. They cheated and changed the rules in the middle of a game if Budulínek was winning. They scratched and bit him, or the whole pack of them would jump on his back and wrestle him to the ground. "I'm not playing anymore," he finally said. "Tell your mom to take me home." But the cubs only laughed at him, tugged on his clothes, pulled his hair, pinched his cheeks, scratched, bit, and ill-treated him in 1,000 other ways. His clothes were all torn and dirty, his body bruised and mangled, his skin full of cuts and nicks. He begged for mercy, he called for help, but to no avail. When Grandma and Grandpa returned home with a load of stumps and roots to sell for firewood, they thought Budulínek had hidden himself to scare them, or that he ran to the forest. But as they looked at the empty soup pot tossed in the corner, the overturned chair and the broken window, Grandpa spotted a clump of ginger hair. "I know what had happened," she said. "Ginger the Vixen carried our Budulínek away." Sadly, they sat down to think about what to do. "There is no other way," Grandma said. "Let's take our violin and our drum. We'll play that vermin a concert." They went to the foxhole under the great oak tree. Grandpa played his violin, Grandma beat her drum, and they sang. Máme pěkné housličky a malý bubínek, jsou tam 4 lištičky a náš Budulínek. Fiddly, fiddly, boom, 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 Vixen, fox and ginger cups and naughty Budulínek. Ginger the Vixen woke up in her bed. "Go, one of you little devils, give those fiddlers a kreutzer. Tell them to stop playing. My head is throbbing like a cracked earthen pot." The oldest cub ran out the hole, gave Grandma the kreutzer, and said, "Mother sends you her thanks, but she wants you to stop fiddling. She has a tremendous headache." "What a cute little fox," Grandpa said. "Would you like to play the fiddle a bit? Come closer, come closer." The curious cub didn't have to be asked twice. As he reached for the fiddle, Grandpa reached for the cub's nape, Grandma opened a sack, and the squirming furry ball went in. "There you go. You can toss and scratch. The sack is strong enough." They tied it well and started playing again. Máme pěkné housličky a malý bubínek, v díře jsou 3 lištičky a náš Budulínek. Fiddly, fiddly, boom, 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 Ginger, Vixen, and 3 cups, and naughty Budulínek. "Oh," Ginger the Vixen complained, "someone give these fiddlers another kreutzer and tell them to stop fiddling. Ooh. Oh, what a headache." The second cub ran out and said, "Here is a kreutzer. Mother sends her thanks, but she wants you to stop fiddling. She has a horrible..." But before he could finish, Grandpa picked him up. Grandma opened the sack, and there you go. He was in the same bag with his brother. And Grandma and Grandpa went on fiddling. Máme pěkné housličky a malý bubínek, jsou tam jen 2 lištičky a náš Budulínek. Fiddly, fiddly, boom, 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 Ginger, Vixen, and 2 cups, and naughty Budulínek. Ginger the Vixen told the 3rd cub to send them away. and the little vixen was soon tossing around in the bag with her brother. Soon, the fourth cub followed suit. And Grandma and Grandpa fiddled relentlessly. Máme pěkné housličky a malý bubínek, je tam liška zrzavá a náš budulínek. Fiddly, fiddly, boom, 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 ginger vixen with no cups and naughty budulínek. Ay, 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 ay. Ginger the vixen pulled her ginger hair. Go, you lazy bones, you boy. I mean you. Give this half-crown to them fiddlers and tell 'em, for my head's sake, stop playing many things. Damn it, ouch, ow, I can't stand it. My skull's gonna explode. Budulínek ran out and cried, Here, take this half-crown. Thanks for fiddling. Stop fiddling, please. Granny? Grandpa? But Grandma held up her hand to quiet him, and the atrocious music went on. Máme pěkné housličky a malý bubínek, na tu lišku zrzavou čeká budulínek. Fiddly, fiddly, boom, 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 come out vixen with no cups and waiting budulínek. Ginger the vixen jumped out of her bed and ran out the hole, cursing her cubs, Budulínek, and the fiddlers. But Grandma was ready with the sack, which she opened just in time for Vixen to run inside. Grandpa tied it well, and only then did they hug and kiss Budulínek. I am so glad, my little Bubele, my naughty little Budule. You'll get such a spanking you can't even hardly imagine how glad I am to see you again. Grandpa, in the meantime, went over to cut a thick hazel stick. With that stick, he beat the bag with the vixen and her brood until he was out of breath. You should have seen how the vixen family ran when Grandma untied the bag. No one has seen them since. As for Budulínek, he didn't even need flogging. That big scare he had gone through made him into the most obedient, nicest little boy in the whole